Extensions are incredibly on trend, and I admit it's possible that some of my hair you may see may not actually all be mine, although today it is. It's great to talk to professionals about the very latest in hair extension options. Coral Please, owner of Cutting Loose Salon, is here with stylist Charlene Culp and model Katie Marquise, who is sporting some fabulously long and thick hair extensions. All right, Coral, tell us, what should people know about hair extensions?
That it's a commitment.
Yes, yes, that is what has stopped me personally from doing it, the keep up.
But, you know, once you get them, I'm sure Katie will attest to, you know, once you have them, especially if you have any kind of breakage or fine hair, you just really can't live without them, right?
No, definitely not.
Okay, so there's many different types of hair extensions. Can you talk to us about the different types and what would be good for each type of person that's looking for extensions?
I'm going to let our extension master, Charlene, explain that.
So there's wefts, K-tips, tape-ins, and then clip-ins. So Katie right now has a combination of wefts, and then we're going to do K-tips in the future, but right now we fill those in with clip-ins in the front, and then mine is wefts.
Okay.
So and you can come in various lengths. So those are the three popular ones right now.
What would be the difference between K-tips and wefts?
So K-tips are going to be a more natural, soft look for those of us with finer hair that like have more fragile hair. Those are nice to sit on it. And then wefts are a little heavier, so sometimes they have more density.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's why the combination of the two right now is really popular, to fill in those like fragile front areas with the K-tips and then have the wefts throughout the rest of it.
Okay, now Katie, when you were looking for extensions, what were you sort of thinking about, why you were needing them, just so people can know?
I have two children. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. After my youngest, my hair is really long, but the front started to break. And so I finally said to Charlene, I'm like, I can't take anymore. I feel like I have a mullet in the front. So
well, mullets are okay then. That's what you're going for.
Mine was not as trendy or beautiful as yours. So she kind of guided me towards extensions, and it's been life-changing ever since.
Yeah, and you can't even tell. I mean, looking at her, you would never know. And I think maybe a long time ago, people thought extensions, and they're like, everybody will know I have extensions. But now it's the technology, or not technology, but the process of getting them and all of that has become much different.
And I love that, you know, because Katie's hair is also very fragile, that when she highlighted it, it was having a hard time, you know, with breakage. So with the extensions, you can just add the highlights into the color, which is another bonus.
Yeah, like none of these highlights are her hair. So, and her hair was breaking when we put color lightener on it. So it's made a big difference for her to give her some dimension again and not be flat.
Okay, that's something I didn't even think about. So if your hair is fragile, that's a really good reason. Whereas I always think for like length and thickness and all of that. That's why personally I would want extensions, but I didn't even think that if your hair is breaking, which we put so many things in our hair nowadays because curling is so in style and everything, that makes sense.
And the fantasy colors too. So, you know, instead of lightening to white and then putting purple on, you just put in extensions and then it stays.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about upkeep, because I know it is a process. So what does that look like?
So move up is every 6 to 8 weeks. So that's when you move up either a tape or a weft. You would move that up every 6 to 8 weeks. K-tips can go a little longer.
Okay.
And then you do that every 6 to 8 weeks, and that's pretty much the only really big upkeep, unless you do color. Obviously, you would do color too.
And their daily maintenance, what does that look like? Because if you don't really take care of them.
Yeah. So the big thing is you don't want to go to bed with them wet. You want to make sure you're tying it back at night. Those silk pillowcases and everything. You want to make sure you're brushing it, using good products. You don't want to use anything with protein in it. Those can be bad for extensions. But anything moisturizing to keep it nice and shiny and healthy.
How long does each time you come back to get them moved up, how long does that process take?
It takes between, like, it's an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on how many you have in. There's different rows. Like, she has 2 rows in, so Katie usually takes around 2 hours if we're doing just her rows and no color or anything else.
Yeah.
The K-tips are going to be more time consuming. And it's funny because really we started with K-tips when we started extensions, and then it's gone to tape-ins, now hand-tied, and now the K-tips are back. it takes a little more time, but they truly are individual pieces.
And for bobs,
Yeah.
K-tips are good. Like, people
Yes.
don't think of bobs being an extension thing, but for those of us with
Yes.
fine
Just
hair,
the front.
this is so weak, so it gives you that nice strength in the front for a bob, too.
Yes, I know a great girlfriend of mine. She has the cutest bob ever, and she literally gets just 2 rows, right,
Yep.
or 2 pieces right here, just to make that the front of it
Fuller.
more full. But we just learned so much. So thank you guys for stopping by. To find Coral and her team, go to cuttingloosesalon.com.